What's going on, guys? I just finished replacing a brand new fan clutch on this E39 BMW 528i. The fan clutch just started well, it just wasn't good anymore. The easy way to tell when it's a fan clutch or a possible fan clutch is to always, go down the steps. You probably start by troubleshooting the radiator. Make sure that it actually has, water or coolant in it. Coolant, what antifreeze really does is just makes the water in there not freeze if it's cold out. So if it's in the summertime and you just want to put emergency, you want to top it off, you could definitely put water in it. So that's the first step you want to do, is make sure it has water, there's no leaks in the radiator or anything like that. Then you move on to checking the thermostat. In my opinion, I could check the fan clutch first, and then you move on to the thermostat. Thermostat could be possible. It could be a possible issue that it's not. It's probably seized shut or open, depending on what you're getting as far as like uh, temperature spikes on your car or something like that. Um, if not, then the last resort is probably a faulty water pump, which is probably the hardest to replace out of all the things that I've mentioned. So you want to troubleshoot down that ladder and start with the cheapest or easiest one and then move on from there. And I pretty much came to the conclusion after checking the fan clutch that that's what it was. I was in the freeway, there was a lot of traffic, so there was a lot of stop and go. I was idling a lot, and what happened was that my temperature gauge slowly, I mean, it's normal temperatures is probably right in the middle, but what it was doing, it was slowly spiking towards the hot, and then it turned red. And then once I started driving, once I actually had some leeway and some open road, and I sped up a little bit, that's when the temperature would go down. So if that's happening to you, you're realizing that it's spiking up when it's traffic or when you're idling, maybe at a drive-through or something like that, you're picking up food and you see it start to spike up, then you know that your fan clutch is starting to go out, and you should possibly take a look at that. So I replaced it. I'm going to show you guys what it should feel like. Give me a second. So what we're going to do is, you're going to see here, I'm going to show you. That is a brand new fan clutch. That's right there installed. Um, and a way that you should tell is if your fan blade really spins freely, um, it should have some resistance. Like, see that? I'm trying to push it and it doesn't even do, not even a quarter of a revolution. If yours just spins freely and it just 2, 3 spins, then you know you got a problem. Okay, so once you've checked that out and you see that there is, if you see resistance, and that's a good sign that your fan clutch is still good. If it spins freely, like I said, maybe even if it does like a 1 whole revolution, that's a sign that it's bad. If it goes more than that, then it's really, really bad. As you can see, this is what a brand new one should uh, should look like. Uh, I'm trying to spin it, and it won't have it. It won't. It's stiff. Not too stiff, but it should have some resistance. All right, so I'm gonna fire her up, and this is a way that you could tell that it's brand new. Let's turn this puppy on. As you can see, it's a cold car. Fired it up. At this point, you guys should feel a lot of cold air, a lot of air right here. Feel it up here. If you don't feel it, then it's not actually spinning. So that's a bad sign. Another thing is, like, we got this piece of paper right here, and it should pretty much crush it like that. See that? So if your actual fan clutch stops from a little piece of paper like this, then you know you need a fan clutch. Alright guys, so just to recap, I don't know if you guys could hear me from the engine, but the fan is pretty loud. So what it does is on this BMW is on this E39, a lot of people think that it's, you know, that the fan is going to turn on and off like it does on Hondas and other cars. But that's not necessarily the case. At least on mine, I don't know how other ones work, but on this one, what happens is that the fan is going to go as fast as the revolutions, as the RPM is. So the fan is always going to be on. It doesn't turn off. You're not going to have this engaged, disengaged state. I mean, engaged, in my opinion, in a car like this would be like when you're on the freeway. You would think that when you're going on the freeway, most cars feel the coolness, and if it's like a thermal fan clutch, then the car should be. It's kind of hot in here, so I'm gonna turn this AC on. Thermal fan clutches usually, when they heat up, that little coil in the center heats up, it'll engage and then it'll turn on, and usually that happens when the car is idling. Usually when it's on the freeway going 60 miles an hour or something like that, it's not going to do it because because it's cool, you know, and you'll see the fan maybe spin just by what, you know, by what the air is hitting it. So that's a good way to tell if you got a fan clutch that's you know, that's working properly. On this car, what happens is that it's going to go as far as the engine is going. My fan clutch doesn't turn off on this E39 97 528i. It doesn't turn off. It's always going to be on. If I'm going in the freeway, it's probably going to spin as fast as my engine goes. But there is a cutoff. You know, like if I go 100 miles an hour in this car, it's not going to go 100 miles an hour or 100,000 revolutions, you know, RPM as far as the fan clutch. There's a cutoff that I think it's like 52 or 42. I'm not certain, but there is a cutoff that when you go faster than that, the fan is not going to spin faster than that, or else if that was the case, you know, your fan clutch could possibly just like explode, I don't know, or something like that. I've heard some legends out there. That's what happens. Your fan clutch would explode, or your fan could actually. That's what happens. Your fan, especially if it's an old fan, it could be brittle, and it could pretty much just, you know, snap, and you'll see shrapnel going all over the place, damaging your shroud, you know, your engine cover. It could possibly, like, you know, puncture hoses and things like that. So that's a big, you know, it's a big hazard, you know. So if you're replacing your fan clutch, make sure to also go ahead and replace the fan blade. It should only be, you know, 30 bucks, 40 bucks if you get it online. I wouldn't suggest getting it from the dealer. They probably want to charge you like 200 bucks or something like that. So I usually go to europarts.com. That's a good site that has a lot of parts, and if you spend more than 50 bucks, then they ship everything for free. Um, you know, that's just from my experience. So, but like I said, inspect the fan. If you seem like it's kind of, you know, like it bends a little bit, it's kind of flimsy, I would just change it. A good fan blade is supposed to be thick and strong and rigid, you know, like hard plastic, and that's what it should be like. So if you you know, do the little newspaper test, get one sheet of newspaper, roll it up. If you could stop your fan, you need to replace it. And if you put it in and it pretty much shreds it, then you know you got a good fan. You're also supposed to feel it, you know, from quite a ways away. Like if you put your hand maybe like a foot away, you should be able to feel the air, you know, hitting your hand. If you don't, and you don't feel anything, and you just see it spin, because that's what it was doing on this one. It was just spinning, and it looks like it's working, you know, but it's not. It's really just, you know, going as, you know, as my idle is going, you know. It's really not. It doesn't go any faster than that. So hope this helps, and if it did, make sure you just hit that like button. If not, I'm sure there's other videos out there for you. So anyways, Hope this helps. Now I'm gonna hit the store and get some beer. See ya.